Hello, coronavirus friends. Let's check out our tickers and see what the market has done for us lately. It's a long weekend. Unfortunately, still some bad news coming out regarding all the people who are indeed suffering. And let's remember that as we profit from these tickers, we are actually profiting off a lot of the fear and the challenges that people are facing. So I always like to keep that in mind when I am trading tickers like this, because opportunity does come at a cost. And the question is, who is paying that cost day to day? So with that fun pump up pep talk in mind, let's take a look at APT on the daily time frame. So we are seeing continuous weakening states overall. We're in a daily downtrend, and I am not confident in this break over top of 594 because we've seen so many days following since, and we are looking for a new lower low at this point underneath 461. The fact that on Friday we had a nice little indecision candlestick and the bulls opened higher, still closing below some key levels, is pretty bearish. So I'm not seeing anything on the daily time frame that's going to jump out at me and say we are going to be changing the daily trend anytime soon. If we go to the 4-hour time frame, we are setting lower highs and lower lows on the 4-hour. So what we're going to look for is going to be continuation and a loss of 488. And the only hope that we have really right now on the daily and the 4-hour is going to be a hold of 461 as support. Hourly time frame is bearish as well. LAKE showing something similar. And I didn't intend to draw this. I don't know why I did this candlestick over here, but we do see that today's low is a $12 psychological. We bounced off $12 psychological before. We have dipped under that level a couple of times and come out of it alive. The question is it going to hold again? Will this be enough for the bulls to show a little bit of confidence and break over our key daily EMAs? We're right underneath our EMA 26 on the daily. This is red line here. And you can see, what did we close at? 1235, and our EMA is 1239. So we are underneath our three key EMAs. Bulls need to get over those levels if they are going to change this trend. Right now, it's daily higher lows, daily lower lows, and lower highs. On the 4-hour time frame, a little bit of a downtrend as well. There's that bounce. And again, I'm looking for optimism. I'm looking for reasons for me to get into this ticker and trade it. And the only thing that I could see would be a break over the high of yesterday, 1248. And if we close over that with good volume and we get over top of these key EMAs on the daily time frame, like we need to be over 1255, ideally 12, maybe even 13 psychological. That would be a great close. That would have us over top of this resistance at 1280. Is it likely to happen? I'm not sure. Probably not. We've got a big strong daily downtrend, but getting over top of those to that 1248, that early morning pop is going to be really, really key. And I think that may be a sign of optimism moving into the next 48 hours or so of trading. CODX on the daily time frame. Let's go ahead and remove that correlator. Let's zoom in a little bit and fix our chart. I don't know why we're so far out. All right, so here's a little bit of cause for concern on CODX. This is one of the tickers that was holding up relatively well, but we have set a lower high and now we are setting lower lows. So our daily trend is at risk of being lost. Right now, bulls can go down to 244 and still be in an overall trend to the upside. And in fact, I think you might make an argument for 280 being your higher low as well, because we saw the bull run, we saw a little bit of consolidation, the bearish attack went as far as 280. Yes, indeed, I am changing my tune already. 280 is the daily support that I am curious about. The fact that we lost this one with some big red momentum has me a little bit cautious. Bulls need to hold, absolutely need to hold 280 tomorrow, and probably I would say the low of day today, 283. I'd consider that a double bottom. If they lose that, then they are at risk of heading down to 234. That's going to be our next daily support. On the 4-hour time frame, we are at a very clear 4-hour downtrend. At this point, we'd be expecting a lower high. So if we can defend 283, we might see a little bit of a pop, but at this point, nothing would surprise me more than breaking 340. What I actually expect to see would be a lower high and a continuation of this 4-hour trend. So for CODX, look for 283, 280 support to hold as a new triple bottom. See if that does. If it does indeed hold that level, look for a 5 and 15 minute trend change and expect a lower high in the 4-hour time frame. If we break 280, again, our next support is down at 230. VIR on the daily time frame continues to be in its ugly little downtrend. This is likely going to look better on the 4-hour time frame, but what matters is we're being rejected from our EMA 12 pretty consistently, and now we are looking, well, this would have been a reversal candlestick, so this would have been an inverted hammer, and what we needed to see would have been a nice green close, hopefully getting over our EMA 26. We didn't get that, but we did get an inside bar. So if we get a break over 18 psychological, we could take an optimistic entry with the anticipation that we're going to close over those EMAs. But right now we are just in a daily downtrend, and our support is at low of day 716, and then the low of this last candlestick 702. So just call it 17 psychological. Then we're going to go to our 4-hour time frame and see if we can find any trends, anything that helps us. And I'm going to go ahead and ignore these aftermarket big spikes, and I'm going to be paying attention to my regular market hours. So I'm going to connect the tops of my 2 green candlesticks, and then I'm going to go down and grab some of my data from my red lows. So again, I'm just going to ignore these big upper wicks on these pre-market after-hour levels. I'm really going to focus in on this trend, because if we do that and remove our extended hours, you can see that we've got this beautiful little hourly trend, and that is something that we can be watching for VIR's potential turnaround. So there's that big wick, and then there's that lack of follow through giving us that inside bar. So if we zoom right in on that action, you can see how that almost becomes an equilibrium. There's our high, higher low, lower high. Now we need a higher low, and ultimately what we need to do to break this EQ is going to be a pop over 1778. Go to the 15-minute time frame. It doesn't look any better on the 15, but that's the idea. There's our big drop. We're getting into that moment of balance. If we can get a nice break out of this hourly channel, bulls have a opportunity here to get over our EMA 26 and 12 on the daily. See if we can't change this trend. NVAX. I'll get these names eventually. Nice, another test of our EMA 8 on Friday. And we are seeing a little bit of bullish activity today, nothing out of the ordinary. To continue, bulls need to break 818 psychological. I don't know why I said psychological. 818 is not a psychological level, but bulls definitely need to do that. We don't have an inside bar day, but we do have a nice little 4-hour uptrend, and our last 4-hour lower high was way down at 732. So bulls have a little bit of room to work with here should they decide to consolidate further. Our current hourly trend has support at 777. So if we lose 77 tomorrow, we'll zoom out, expect 4-hour consolidation, and anything over 732 is going to give us that. One of the things that you could look for would be a break and then a bounce off of 753, which is our current EMA 26, and anticipate a 4-hour consolidation of the loss of that hourly uptrend, leading to continued meager daily development. Anyway, I've said enough words. Thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments in the YouTube, please feel free to ask them. I like answering questions. I like people learning about technical analysis, and I like to teach it. So thank you so much.